This is a very important video which I need to pass out to everyone. My opinion of what's been happening and what's about to happen with this BS19 scamdemic. I won't go into what's happened virtually in the last 10 months or so, but as you know, everywhere you go it's COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID this, coronavirus this. You cannot turn the radio, the news on, read papers without that being virtually the whole news. The whole news. There's no more terrorist attacks. Hardly any talk about car shootings, mass shootings. Sorry, not car shootings, car attacks. Any shit like that. That's been put on hold because they want to put the whole attention to COVID-19 and the rollout of the V, which I'm telling you now is the one main agenda for this whole thing. Just before I go, first time I can remember living in Melbourne in Australia, virtually the end of January, we've had no bushfires. Isn't that amazing? We had these bushfires last year prior to the rollout of the scamdemic down the southeast coast of Australia. Amazing. All the way down, which exactly the same route as the planned smart rail system that they are planning. That's not a coincidence. Fires over the years, I'm saying right now, are deliberately lit and not by arsonists. So yeah, the reason there's been no fires this summer, same again, they don't want to divert the attention away from BS19. That's what they want everyone to hear. Cases, 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 testing, testing, just before the rollout of the V. So let's just get to Melbourne in particular, why they chose Melbourne as the guinea pig city and Victoria the guinea pig state. Well, if you don't know, there are strong cities, Rockefeller Foundation, strong cities, I'm not sure how many, 32 I think, around the world. Melbourne is one of them, the only one in Australia, and would you believe Christchurch is the only one in New Zealand, Christchurch not being one of the biggest cities in New Zealand, but you know what happened there. I think it's now nearly two years ago, a staged event. So Melbourne, 4 years ago, they staged an event called the Bourke Street Massacre, where a car supposedly went down Bourke Street, never did. There's never till this day been any footage of any car going down Bourke Street. They used crisis actors to fake people supposedly being hit. So that was the test to see how stupid the public were. Until this day, it passed with flying colours, because you can guarantee just about 99.99999% of Melbournians and even Australians believe that event happened. So that was the beta test to see, yes, we'll use Melbourne, they'll believe anything. So the timing was perfect to stage the second wave here in July 2020, where they used this supposed quarantine fiasco, biggest load of baloney ever. There was no fiasco. It was to make out that someone brought in, because that's how that initially started with the cruise ship, the Ruby Princess. That's how it came into Australia, because it just doesn't fly over. They had to use a criminal cruise ship, fully in on it, Carnival Princess. But anyway, July last year, they faked this quarantine fiasco, and on and on and on. They made out, Andrews didn't use the ADF, he used just normal security to make it look like, they didn't know what they were doing. Anyone could stand outside a freaking hotel and do nothing. But apparently, people escaped. And where did they escape to? They escaped to nursing homes throughout Melbourne, because that's what they used. Like I keep saying, the only way you can pull off a scamdemic like this and have people dying is, use people that are going to die anyway. And where do people die? They die in nursing homes. That's why this supposed bug doesn't go anywhere near people under 50, especially children. Doesn't want to go near children because children don't die. It's plainly obvious, but if you can't see that, there's something wrong with you. But roughly out of the 800 that died supposedly from BS19 in Victoria, 680 were from aged care homes. What's that say? With an average age of 84. I mean, it's beyond belief that no one can see this. So Melbourne went through that period while the world sat back and watched, and once again passed with flying colours. So people must ask, well, if Melbourne went through that first, why weren't we first to take the rollout? Well, even someone with half a brain cell would start thinking, oh well, you really can't make a V within 6 months. 6 months, no way, no, and people wouldn't fall for it. So they said, well, let this just go on. Well, let Melbourne go back to normal again through the summer period where, flu isn't as contagious as it is during the winter period. So, well, let's just wait till March 2021. And meanwhile, through the flu season in the Northern Hemisphere, countries like the USA, of course, who are the ones behind all this, and Great Britain, of course, the Western powers, faking their cases, fake deaths. Anyone that dies from anything is listed as COVID all the time. So now, they've had the lockdown, second wave, and, it's okay. Let's have the vaccine now. It's been 9 months. That's enough. Let's roll it. So they're the first to roll the V. So this come to the nitty-gritty of this video. Early March, probably end of February, it's going to be Australia's turn. And that's when it's really going to test everyone. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to meekly bend over and take the V? Of course, the elderly, the people that they just want to get rid of, useless eaters as they like to refer to them, they'll be the first to go. It's inhumane what's going on in nursing homes, honestly, for the last 9 months, not being allowed to see their loved ones in the last stages of their lives. But anyway, it's the elderly that are going to suffer. Frontline workers, supposedly, the nurses, police. Who knows if the V is going to be the one that the general public's going to get. I'm not sure if it will be, because it's a bit hard having all these people being, just rolling over and dying as such. But it's not so much dying. It's more so what they're putting in regards control of the population. Nanoparticles, microchip, whatever. So it could be a bit of both. As you know, they're saying it's not just one shot you need. It'll be, ongoing. So what I'm seeing here in Melbourne, as I've said, we've had this pause here where people over the Christmas period think, it's all come good. Bit of a, like I said, pause in all this shit. But by God, this is just calm before the storm. So what's happened here? The Australian Tennis Open, usually in January, has been pushed back to February, another month. The reason for that, they wanted to get, close to this rollout of the V. What they're going to do, in my opinion, is going to use the Australian Open, because as you know, people come from all over the world to play. tennis players, coaches, trainers, masseurs, you name it. Right now they're in quarantine for 14 days with the quarantine BS. But you can guarantee there'll be a spread. There'll be from someone, a trainer, or not so much a tennis player. They'll use some unknown staff, whatever. But there'll be a spread. And that's how they're going to do it. And it's not a coincidence either that the first Grand Prix event for the season is in Melbourne on March. That has been already postponed to November. What, do they know something's going to happen in early March? Of course they do. So as I've said all along, the V is the big agenda, the number one agenda. This is the end game. This is the end game. There won't be any other shit that they have to worry about. Like I said, you know, terror attacks and all that other garbage, mass shootings. This is the end game. And they cannot fail. If they fail, they are exposed. This is going to go one way or the other. They fail, we win, and we finally get our lives to be like we can never imagine. A true freedom, true democracy. But if they win, by God, who knows what life's going to be? Who know what life's going to be in a socialist-run, China-style world. So, like I said, end of February, early March. Because they cannot, people are not that stupid, surely, that if there are no cases, no deaths, which there haven't been for quite a while here in Australia, surely they're not going to take something that, hasn't even been tested. They're calling this the experiment. They're experimenting on the population right now, but it's not. They know exactly what's in the V, so it's not an experiment at all. But there's no way people should be taking it without anyone actually dying. I mean, they cannot force this on people. Have they forced people to take the flu V and any other Vs over the years? No. But they're going to force this upon us because, like I say, that's the agenda. And I just want to go back. Why did they only use Melbourne, Victoria for the second wave? Well, it's simple. They only needed one state. What's the point of having other states? Because that way they're going to do the same thing. Get deaths from the elderly, aged care home. And people will say, shit, aged care homes here in this state, aged care homes in that state. What's going on here? It's only the aged care, and they're people are dying anyway. So you only just need it in one state, put the other states in lockdown, make that the lockdown works, and all good's there. Because that way it looks like actually, 100% there is a virus if it's affected one state. Obviously, that was the script. No point having all the other states. Let them just watch on. Yeah, poor Victoria. The virus must be real because, look, all these people are supposedly dying, even though they're just dying from normal old age and heart attacks and whatever underlying health conditions. So that's the reason. And like I said, the reason they chose Melbourne is because they're one of the strong cities, and they did the beta test with the Burke Street event. So, yeah, that's about all. I just want to hope everyone can see this is coming. We all got to stand strong. We all have to oppose the rollout. I'm not here to tell anyone whether to take it or not. That's your choice. That's your choice. If you think this is all, what I'm saying is all garbage, well, that's your choice. Do what you want to do, but I'm just putting this out there. I could be wrong. It's my opinion. Anyway, we'll see in coming weeks. We will see. All right, everyone take care. And, keep strong and look after yourself.